Hello, Interns and Associates, and welcome back to another episode of the Cubicle Briefings. I'm Charlie Armstrong, and today I'm here with Belén Lujan-Rodriguez. Yes, our queen. To say a little bit about Miss Belén over here, she's a rising talent in the fashion business world and a student at the Fashion Institute of Technology. She's currently pursuing her associates in applied science in fashion business management. So she does not play when it comes to business and fashion. She also brings hands-on experiences from working in retail at J.Crew and in hospitality at Green Pagoda. And her background reflects a strong foundation in customer service, sales strategy, and leadership, skills that she is still sharpening through in the real world while helping and experiencing by managing inventory, assisting customers, and driving sales on that floor. She knows how to get the sales. Belén has also been recognized for her achievements, earning honors like Q2 MVP Sales Associates and distinctions such as Principal Scholars and the National Hispanic Recognition Program. With a creative eye and a passion for fashion, she represents the next generation of industry professionals shaping the future of retail and brand experience. Does not play. I also just hated how I said passion for fashion because I feel like that's such a cliche and it's such like a common thing. You do? Yeah. No, because I feel like I know I've heard like from like I think it was like admissions counselors, they were like, we hate hearing that and seeing that in essays. And I'm like, okay, yeah, but it's like literal.
Yeah.
Like it's not like, but then again, like I always found it like so cheesy because I was like, they drill that into my brain. But you know, it's time to bring it back up again. We're gonna take the screw back up.
Exactly.
That's the idea. Anyway, welcome, Belén. Thank you so much for being
I'm so
here.
Excited.
I'm so happy and excited to have you here. So let's kind of just start from, the beginning and, the fact that you are now here at FIT and you've been studying here for almost a full year.
Yeah.
What originally kind of drew you into fashion business and wanting to attend FIT in the first place? Why don't you just walk us through from the beginning?
So originally, actually, I was planning on going into fashion design, but then I was like thinking about it, and like I love, I love like drawing and like making my own clothes or like learning how to sew. Like I thought that was really cool when I started doing it back in high school. But then as like I kept doing it, I was like, I like my freedom when it comes to designing. I don't love when it's like certain rules or like stuff like that. So I was just like, I don't think majoring in fashion like design would be for me. So then I was like, okay, like I can either do production development or I can do fashion business management. And I just decided to go to FBM. It was just like a broader reach, I guess. I was like, if I want to change, I'll change for my bachelor's. But I love my program right now, and I've made a lot of great friends in it. So I'm really glad that I chose it. And so, yeah.
I'm happy for you. That's fantastic. It seems like it's a good fit. And I think it's smart because you get a lot of the business, the foundations down with how to operate one, but you still know and have that background to study fashion. Were there any like specific garments that you like made in the past that you really enjoyed and that you're kind of proud of? That kind of was like that was highlighting like your creativity and love for fashion?
I mainly made stuff for my theater back in high school, so it was like really like random stuff. Like I made like a mermaid tail from scratch for one of our plays, our plays. It was Game of Tiaras. That was really fun because didn't really know what I was doing, but I got to like source all the fabric, stuff like that, and that was like really cool. It was also the first time like I had ever used like a sewing machine to like make something, so I loved doing that. It was definitely like a challenge because like my mom knew how to sew, but like nothing to the point of like showing me how to do it really. But besides that, I just loved being like hands-on with like any costumes that we had back in my high school, and I always like liked hemming my own clothes that I thrifted or stuff like that. I always thought it was like cool to like add my own like unique, and like I have a Pinterest board for like stuff I want to do this summer, like to do my clothes. So I'm excited.
I'm excited for you. That's so exciting, and I can't wait. Are you planning on like promoting or showing off some of the designs and things that you create, or is it kind of more like a project that you like to have like behind the scenes and kind of to yourself?
Probably just behind the scenes. It'll be like on my personal Instagram, but I probably won't have like a physical separate Instagram or like anything else like promoting it. It would just be like for fun.
So, on like the Instagram that you know of. And to making like for the interns and associates that want to see your creations, what is your Instagram handle and how can they get a hold of you?
It's my first initial, so B, and then my last name, Lujan-Rodriguez, which is LUJAN RODRIGUez.
Yes.
Yes.
So if you want to see her creations, follow her on there, and
Yeah.
trust in the summer you'll be able to see them. It's guaranteed.
Exactly.
That is so exciting. That is so cool. So obviously, I know, it's so expensive living in the city. Obviously, we could have both attested to that. Both working girls over here,
Yeah.
especially you. You are working in retail and immersing yourself and taking what you're learning from the classroom and applying it to your job, J.Crew. So do you want to tell us a little bit about how long you've been working at J.Crew and how it's been for you so far with being able to apply those skills to your job?
Yeah, so I've been working at J.Crew for like a year and a half now. I worked back home and then I transferred to actually the flagship here. It's like the best selling store, or like one of the best selling stores, which was a major adjustment from like my small like mall store. Like here there's like separate teams for everything. There's like triple the amount of employees that like I had back home. So it was definitely like a change. But I have to say, like, I love the fast pace of like the location I work at now, and everyone there is like so nice, and like I've gotten to really know my coworkers since being here in like the 6 months or more that I've worked there. And I feel like at this one, just because it's like you're like more one-on-one with customers, I've actually been able to apply like what I learned here a lot more. Like I, especially like when I'm like in the fitting room and I'm like helping style people, or like they're like having trouble with like seeing what their fit is, like I'm able to like use terminology that I learned and be like, oh yeah, like because of the cinch or because of like how this garment works, like that's why it fits like that. So like even if you size up or you size down, or like I can get you a similar thing that might not have this. So I feel like being able to apply that, even when I don't realize it, it's really cool because I'm like, oh, like I'm able to connect like both my school like work and like my work, and it's like good application of like what I'm actually learning. So I feel like I'm like keeping hold of it more than like if it was just like learning it at school and like not applying it to anything. So yeah.
I have to agree. I have to say it's really interesting to me because yeah, you do learn a lot of these different like terminologies, and especially with your background of already like being very into fashion, already knowing a lot from just sewing and just doing your making your own work and you're just being in your own creative outlet. You have learned so much through that, and then just plus school on top of that, it's like you can really just apply it to then your retail job, and it kind of sets you apart from I feel like a lot of the crowd in a way where it's like most people in retail they don't know like the certain details of certain things. Whereas like if you're a fashion student, this is what you're studying.
Mm-hmm.
So you know this hands-on what is happening and you know different terminology of garments that somebody else may not know, which is super definitely sets you apart and definitely gives you an advantage in that way. And speaking of that, like learning in the classroom, how have your classes been at FIT? Have they been really helpful to you? And have they been interesting at all to kind of help you set yourself in the right position moving forward for what you may do post grad or beyond?
I think so. I mean, like I'm in the honors program, so I had to like take some of those courses. So I'm now minoring in psychology because of that. And honestly, like it's not something I ever considered minoring in. I like had other like options, but I'm really excited because I know that you can apply it, like studying like the psychology of consumers or stuff like that, and like how they buy and like why they buy certain things. So I feel like being exposed to like new classes, the honors program has been really cool. But then just with like my major related like classes, it's also been like I've loved all my teachers. I feel like I've been able to kind of build relationships with certain teachers that I've had, which is like really cool because like then I can talk to them about stuff like my personal life, or like, and if I want to do something work wise, like kind of ask for their advice and things like that, which I know is like a big like kind of like key point in the fashion industry. Is they're always telling you like build those connections, reach out to people, like ask questions, make sure that like you maintain those relationships and stuff like that. So I feel like with the teachers I've had so far, I've been able to do that, which I love. And then also the content, I feel like in certain classes especially, I've been able to like really like realize like what I want to do. So like I kind of want to go into sourcing in the future. And this semester especially, I had a lab that has to do with like textiles, and like everything I've learned is like so cool in that class, and I'm just like I just want to touch fabric all day. And then like the product and elements class, like even though it's a lot of stuff that I already know, I feel like now I'm more confident in it. So again, that has helped me in my job. But also, I'm yeah, like I could source for like this kind of material because like I know like why it's made like that, or like I can identify it more easily. So I really like my classes here so far. I think it's worth it. Yeah.
That's great. That's so exciting. I was going to say they definitely are very interesting. And I remember taking product elements and principles last semester.
Yeah.
And the level of my understanding in fashion from, before starting that class to then finishing that class, I don't know about you, was immense. Like, I loved my professor, Professor Blumenthal. Shout out to you. You're amazing. He was such a good professor, and he really did teach everything top to bottom and gave such a great foundation for understanding so much about fashion and how it's made and different prints and patterns. What's the difference between the two? And, wovens versus non-wovens, or, knits and all these other things. Like, I swear to God, I had no idea what the difference of any of them were before until I took that class. And then by the time I took that final, I was like, I could know everything top to bottom of like, what is that? What is this? Like, it's so cool to understand now the difference. And you get to see that now especially when you work and you get to touch and see and, feel the garments and feel the fabrics, and you really just get to immerse yourself in the experience. I think that's a really good point that you mentioned. So you obviously have a great experience in retail and you're continuously building off of that and working. And do you plan to stay in J.Crew for the long term? Like, what's your goal with that?
So when I go back home this summer, I will be still working at J.Crew. Come back in the fall, I'm like not sure. Like I'm not opposed to it. Like it's been like a great working environment. I love my coworkers. I might change jobs just because like I want to have like different experiences or like learning opportunities. So I'd love to like apply or find like an internship for the fall. Even if it's not paid, like just like learning new stuff would be great. Or like also working for another company. I mean, there's so many like boutiques or like smaller companies in New York that I feel like I could like get to know like the managers a lot better, like higher ups a lot better. So I feel like that would also be like a really cool opportunity. So I'm still like deciding now, but like J.Crew's a great company, so like I liked working for them. So yeah.
That's amazing.
We'll see. Yeah.
It's TBD.
Yeah, TBD.
I love that. We love that. So you have a background in retail. We've obviously talked about that. We got the whole rundown there. What about, do you want to tell us maybe more about your hospitality experience at Green Pagoda and how's that going so far? Are you currently working for that now? And like, what's the vibe with Green Pagoda?
Green Pagoda was my first job. It was like,
okay.
Yeah, like it was purely like I will take anything. And so I was a hostess for there for like a year and a half, I want to say. It was like a good job. Like all of my coworkers were just like fun. Like we would just like have a good time when we were like working. But yeah, and then like it was mainly just like when you're below age 18, it's so hard to get a job because they all want you to like be 18. So that was kind of like the first place I was able to like get a job. It was a great experience. Definitely learned like time management and how stressful the restaurant industry is. But I had fun, so it was like a good first job, I think. So yeah.
It's really stressful being in food service and anything regarding hospitality, and like it's really stressful. I get it. Trust me, from my experiences of working, I'm like, it's hard. It's really hard, but you gotta just have to keep your head up. You have to keep your head up and not let it bother you. Just any backlash or anything, just take it through one ear and just zip it right out the other.
Yeah.
That's how it has to be, because it's gonna drive you crazy. And I can imagine, like, do you ever have like any like crazy stories like working like at that job, or even in like J.Crew right now too, like any crazy stories working at in a retail or hospitality based experience?
I feel like my coworkers have more crazy experiences. I feel like I've had like rude customers, but like I haven't like experienced anything like major. I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe that just happened. Um, there was just like really messy eaters at my job that I have to clean up after, but that's pretty much it. But nothing
like how messy?
Like, well, I worked at like an Asian fused restaurant, so like there's a lot of rice, and yeah, people just don't know how to eat rice, I guess. There was always just a bunch on the floor, but it was like fine. Like we pulled through.
That's good. As long as you pull through and you're just like, because it's tiny.
Yeah.
I think it's like that. It's tiny and people just don't even know what to do with it. They're like, whatever, I'm not cleaning that up. It's not my problem.
Yeah.
Out of sight, out of mind.
Literally.
No, I get that. And so regarding fashion, regarding, trends and things that we're seeing now and, what we're learning in class and what you've been probably learning in class, what trends are you think you're most excited about, like, that are happening like right now, or what might be happening down the line that you may see in retail in your experience and through whatever you're seeing the influence of fashion? Like, what is specifically exciting you about fashion right now?
Honestly, like, I love that there's a mix of different things, but I like kind of bringing more like whimsical or like playful like details to clothing. So like it can be like a really classical piece, or but they add like a small detail to it, and I think it's like really fun. Or people are just bringing or like being more playful with like their clothing, and it's like a different way to like bring back nostalgia besides like the Y2K moment. And I feel like so it's like polka dots, like they were really big, and like even though like it's like a classic pattern, like everyone has done polka dots since like the beginning of time, but like they're just like finding new ways to like do things that have already existed, I think is always like really fun. I loved like the last Dior show. And I think just like having like playful silhouettes or like really big like silhouettes is also really fun. Like the tiny top, big bottom, like I know like that's always been there, so like kind of finding like new innovative ways to like play with it. Like I'm always excited to see like what's next. So yeah.
That's exciting. And do you think that's going to continuously still like be like cycling through like what we're seeing in fashion, you think, down the line?
Definitely. I feel like it's like always gonna be there. Just because it's like a different way of like people styling stuff. I also like I know like there's a little bit of like 60s coming back, which I would love, like baby doll dresses, like have my heart, especially for like the summer and the spring. So I like love anything from that. And I also think like just having like that kind of era again of like politics and like having and how it like relates to today, I think is like really important. So kind of like having like that crossover between politics and fashion, I think is also really cool and like something that we can learn from. So yeah.
I love that. That's amazing. So regarding sales, because obviously you have to drive up sales for your job when working with retail and being a sales associate. So how do you like approach customers, or how do you try to like build relationships and kind of get your sales the way that they are
Yeah.
by being amazing at it? What's the strategy behind all of this?
Honestly, I think like I learned a lot more like being here, like how to drive sales. Sometimes it's literally just like adding in a piece that you think that they would like into their fitting room. I know that they do that a lot of Ritzia too. But sometimes like customers like they like do like 5 laps around the store and yet they don't see that piece. And like the thing that I pride myself on is like knowing the sales floor really well, like knowing where each thing is or like what people might like or like what's more flattering than other things. So I always just try and like pull that. Or if like a customer is like trying something on and like you can like they're not expressing it but you can tell like they're not fully convinced by it, like I try and find something similar or like something that I think that they would like or maybe goes with their body type. But also just like talking to them, like finding out like why they're shopping. Like I've helped a couple people like go on like get like date outfits and like they like originally didn't tell me, but then they were like, oh, like what are you looking for? And they're like, oh, just a dress. I'm like, okay, like you just have to like keep asking questions after that, and then like they just kind of get comfortable, like share more like what they're into, what they're looking for, maybe what event they're shopping, or if it's literally just for fun, which I mean, like I always love fun shopping. So it's just kind of like, yeah, like honestly, like again, a passion for fashion, like once like if you like it, then you can just kind of like talk about it or like help customers all day, I guess.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
No, that's great. It's good that like you're trying to like build relationships with your customers, and
Mhm.
I think that, and just talking to them, like asking them questions in ways that isn't like, you're like kind of just like prodding, like trying to like yank
Yeah.
the questions out of them. Like in a sense, you're kind of
Yeah.
just like you're just asking them questions, but you're curious and you want to help them to best find what they're looking for whatever they're doing. I think that's amazing that you're doing that. Like, I think that's fantastic.
I think it's just like when I go shopping, I don't like it when people are like all over me, or like I like shopping on my own terms. So I kind of try and like put that into like when I help customers, and like if I can tell like they don't want help, I'll be like, okay, I'll leave you alone. But if not, like I try and make it enjoyable so that they don't really feel like it's like someone's like hovering over them while they're shopping. So,
yeah, because that can kind of like you don't want someone like breathing down like your neck and your back, and you're just like, oh my god, like what is happening here? Like I just want to breathe and I want to be able to shop in peace. Sometimes it's like catching that vibe too. That can be a huge difference as well, and I think that's a really good point. Do you think, in your opinion, people like to shop more in brick and mortar settings or more like online or in the mobile app, or what's like? Excuse me. Where do you think people mostly shop now, especially with J.Crew, for example?
Yeah, I think it's still, there's a lot online. Obviously, there's still people coming in stores. People just prefer like shopping in store. Like I know I shop exclusively in store. Like I hate shopping online unless it's like Depop and I have like no other alternative but to shop online. Just because like I feel like you could really like a piece based off of like how it looks in the photo, but like then it just like doesn't fit like the same way, or it's like I don't really know like how I would like wear this, and like being able to like put it on, like I feel like I'm able to like visualize like the outfits I can make out of it better than like it's just like on a screen. But I think customers definitely like buy a lot online more than they do in like stores, or at least like they used to. Because like I know like a lot like customers will come in and like try stuff on, but they'll still buy it online. So like that's like a major like challenge in my job, is like making them want to buy it in store. So yeah. And we also get like a lot of like online returns, and it's like obvious like people just buy like in bulk and then keep whatever they like, and then they're just like they find it easier, I guess.
I see. Very cool. Yeah. And through your job, like, do you think like there's any skills that like you're still trying to like work on and trying to like master through your job, or is there and like if so, like what would that be or what would that not be? Like, what's your feeling on that, or just in general, like with learning fashion, like is there anything that you want to improve on for yourself or down the line?
I feel like probably like asking or like knowing how to ask better questions. I feel like that's something that I didn't really know how to do well until I came to college or like had my job here. Like obviously I knew how to ask questions if I didn't understand something, but I think I've gotten better at listening or like finding ways to like grab like key details and like sentences or stuff like that to ask questions to better understand someone, or like make the conversation go in like a better direction and beyond just like small talk. As someone who doesn't really love small talk, I like when like the conversation goes beyond just like your simple like day-to-day conversations. It's like I love when people ask like really curious questions, or like just something that you wouldn't normally hear, even if it's like simple. Like I just like I think it's like a good thing to be able to do. And then honestly, like I think like once I like continue to like, go into my career, like just like learn how like the actual retail like day-to-day stuff applies to like more of the corporate stuff, all of the planning and the buying. Because I mean like I see like how it impacts like the store, and like how certain things people don't love or whatever, like how they plan out like our budgets and like our goals for like the day, and like how much they have to make at the store. So I guess just like learning to like expand my current knowledge on that, as like I continue on in my career. But yeah.
I see. That's very interesting. And where do you see yourself, you think, in the fashion industry maybe after, graduating college? I know it's your first year, as I am myself, so obviously you still have a while to go. Yeah. But do you have like a vision for yourself, maybe post grad?
I don't know like if I want to stay in like the US or if I want to move to Europe yet, just because like I mean there's a lot of good opportunities like worldwide for fashion. But like my ideal, like my dream job would be like sourcing for like leather or just like really cool textiles for like Loewe or Bottega Veneta or like Drews Van Norton. Like those are like my favorite brands, and like being able to like source, travel the world, learn about different cultures, different fabrics that they use, and like how to apply it to like the luxury industry would be like a pure dream. And like also just working with like companies that are like innovative and like how they design stuff is like I would love to do that. So that would be like my like dream. So
That's very interesting. That's very cool. Why specifically like textiles and sourcing? Is there anything that's specifically like triggering your interest in that field, or?
I think like I just grew up around it. Like I've always loved like touching fabrics when I go shopping. Like I had a blanket when I was little that would have like different like fabrics. I think it was like a sensory blanket, but like I love touching the different fabrics, and I just think it's like so cool. And like I feel like that can really make or break like like a piece. Um, and I feel like there's just like endless possibilities with like what you can do, because like I feel like if you're focusing on merchandising, which I would love to still like get experience with that, and like I wouldn't be opposed to getting a job in that, but I feel like it's more limited. Like you're definitely more on like the analytical side, but like sourcing allows you to be analytical, like see the data, like what's going to be trending, and like based off that then like use your creativity to like find cool like fabrics, or like talk to new people, or just like travel the world. Like I think traveling is a great thing that everyone should be able to experience. So yeah.
That's that's amazing. Do you think you're going to study abroad since being at school? Now, just talking a little bit about that.
I hope I can. I might do it twice. One in Spain for my Spanish minor, just for like the summer, and then one in London. So yeah, I hope I get to do both, but we'll see.
I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will.
Yeah,
what are you thinking? Is there any time that you're specifically thinking for it, or?
I think junior year. Yeah, I feel like it's like I know I can't do it my senior year, and I just feel like the junior year would be like a good time. Like I've had enough time like here where I've learned a lot of like basics, and I feel like abroad like I'd be able to like focus more on like specific things, and like build off of the stuff that I've learned here in my associates. So yeah.
I see. That's sick.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you do get to go to both Spain and London. That'd be so cool. And you have to tell me all about it, how it goes. Of course. And I was thinking London too, actually. So I'm like, I want to study abroad for the AMC program for the summer. So I might try to do that sometime, maybe like next summer, maybe. We'll see, because I'll be essentially a junior then. So I'm like,
you should.
We'll see how it goes. We'll see if that's happening. I hope so. I'm like crossing my fingers.
Yes, I believe in you.
Take me. Hopefully. Is there any specific like fashion item that you like cannot live without? Like if you had to like, there's like one specific thing you're like you just love about fashion. It's like if that specific garment or like thing was like wiped away, you would actually like you wouldn't know what to do with yourself anymore.
I'll give you two answers. One, my ballet flats. I feel like everyone everyone knows that about me. It's like I think I currently have 8 pairs of ballet flats. It's just like my go-to like pair of shoe. Like I just feel like they elevate any outfit so well, or like it's just better than sneakers. Like it looks more put together, but in my opinion, I think my feet have just gotten so used to them that I find them so comfortable, and like it's better than heels and like better than sneakers. So I just think it's like a great like kind of middle ground. But then otherwise than that, I think growing up in Florida, you find ways to like wear the least amount of clothing but still like, at least for someone who likes fashion, like still be stylish. So like any kind of dress, so like baby doll dresses or like empire like waistline dresses, like I love. So I definitely like I would miss dresses a lot. So
yeah. I was gonna say the ballet flats and the dresses, like that's like your signature look. So I'm like, without those, what are you gonna do?
Exactly.
It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be terrible. And if you could meet like any celebrity or figure that's a heavy influence on you in fashion, what celebrity or like influence of fashion would that be?
I have technically already met him, but it was like a really like strange circumstance. So I would love to re-meet him and like actually be able to like talk about like his like designs or stuff like that. Like Jonathan Anderson is like my favorite designer and has been since like
you met him?
Yeah, it was really random. I won't go too into it, but it was like really short, and I just like said hi, and like I just was like, oh, I love your work and stuff like that. Like it was so short, but like I would love to like learn more about, because like I always read about like his collections and like what inspired him and stuff, but I would like love to talk about his designs. But if not, I like any like fashion icon that like I just like what they wear. Like I mean Zendaya, like I would love to meet her or stuff like that. So yeah.
Me too. I would love to meet her.
Yeah.
I'd love to meet her.
She just seems like so chill and like cool and yeah.
Like down to earth and just fun.
Exactly.
I know. I want to meet her too. I'm like, who doesn't?
Exactly.
Who doesn't want to meet her? Who hasn't already?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to meet her and Tom Holland. Like, I feel like it'd be so fun to hang out with two of them
they
together.
seem so sweet.
They do. I'm like, where's the invite? Like, where is that? No, that's so true. I agree with you 100%. Is there any kind of impact that you want to make with being in the industry? And if so, how would you want to make that impact?
Definitely make it more sustainable. Like that's a big one. Either with like making it more transparent and like how like not having companies greenwash would be amazing because they always like say that they're doing ethical or like sustainable like ways of making their clothing, but that's not fully true. Or just like again, like that's also why I like would like love to go into sourcing, like being able to find fabrics that are dyed correctly and aren't using like a bunch of harsh chemicals that aren't good for the environment, or finding like non-blends that are easier to recycle, or just finding like cool ways to like bring in like old fabric back to life. Like yeah, just make it more sustainable because there's so much waste in our industry. And yeah,
I think that's very true. I do think there's a lot of waste in the fashion industry. I totally agree with that. And I think hopefully down the line there'll be more technology, there'll be better practices within each brand and each industry and with manufacturers and supply chains where we minimize as much greenwashing as possible and we really truly practice sustainable and there's implemented sustainable ideals to create garments through the processes of how to do it. Like that needs to change.
Yeah.
And I'm with you on that one. I think if there can be better ways of how to do it and there's less greenwashing, that's definitely key. Yeah. I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
I always ask this as the last question to all of the guests on the podcast. If you can give any advice to the interns and associates, what it could be one piece of advice, it could be multiple, up to your interpretation. What advice could you give?
I'm gonna do this based off like what my teachers have also told me to always be curious and open to learning and pushing yourself to like always want to learn. I feel like there's so much information in our world beyond just our own industry that can be applied to our industry. Like learning different sciences or like chemistry, like learning how to like dye fabrics that you can like kind of bring back, or like learning about art and movie and like how it inspires designers. I feel like always pushing yourself to try and learn something can be beneficial in more ways than one, both in your work life and your personal life. And it can really make you be more grateful to the world around you. I know it has made me. So yeah, always be curious and like always push yourself to learn more.
I think that's excellent advice. Yeah. Always learning, never go stale. Yeah. Never go stale. Exactly. It's the worst thing you can do in my opinion.
Exactly.
I'm with you on that one. Stay curious.
Stay curious.
Period. So yes, this concludes this episode of the Cubicle Briefings with me and Miss Belén. We hope you guys enjoyed and learned so much about our experience and about her experiences and what she's continuously wanting to do down the line. And we're going to stay in touch always and hear all about your future endeavors because I know there's going to be a lot going on, of course.
I know you too.
Oh, we'll see about that. But we're going to stay busy over here. You know how it is. But thank you so much for being on here. It was such a pleasure. You did an amazing job. And I loved everything you said. I thought it was fantastic.
Thank you.
Of course. And we hope you guys enjoyed and stay tuned for the next episode where all is said. Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye.
That was so good.
Oh, thank